The thinking at NAATE was that if we created a deep, integrated program of study, set a very high bar, selectivity bar for admissions, only experienced high-performing classroom teachers would be accepted, we could open up different instructional approaches to suit the unique capabilities and needs of this cohort of experienced high-performing teachers.
Through NAATE, I've learned that you really need high-level information and education, and to be around high-performing individuals to really understand your areas of weakness. And then you need to be around people that are humble to be in a safe enough place to explore your areas of weakness and grow out of your areas of weakness.
NAATE has changed my entire perception of what I do in the classroom. It's changed the entire way I approach how intentional I am with my instructional practices, especially with how I communicate with my students. Specifically in that it's not, the power in what I do is not behind the things that I tell them. It's not in my periods or in my exclamation points. It's in my question marks.
Everyone brings something different to the table. So where one person may be an expertise in maybe math or language arts or science or special ed, I think the caliber of teacher that is here is just, it's just awesome. That's something that you don't get in a normal public school setting.
Would it be weird to just say I feel pushed? Like I feel like somebody's driving me, like you've got this place to go and you can do it and you need to get there, and I really believe people have faith in me, and for some reason I'm starting to believe that I am kind of good at what I do, and I don't think I've had anybody give me that sort of I don't know, faith in me or something. I don't know. I feel pumped up, and I feel like a lot of the stuff I'm using, that I'm getting here, I'm not just going to use in my classroom, because there's a lot of the classroom discourse and Scrag seminars, and that I'm going to use that in my classroom, but I'm also going to be so much better this year as a team leader.
You see, prior to coming to Chicago, I'm going to be honest, I felt lost. Lost in student data and school closings and reduction in force. Lost in classroom observations and teachers turning on one another. Then, as if it was a phoenix rising from the flame, comes NAATE. I know that may be a little corny, but you see, for the very first reading assignment that I did on leadership, I immediately began to reflect on not just the type of leader I was, but the type of leader I wasn't. I started gathering words in my head like sense of urgency and corporate culture. I started reading literature on teaming and facilitation and listening skills. I started saying to myself, am I being trained to be a better teacher or becoming a CEO in a Fortune 500 company? As I continued reading, I began to read articles and texts that started to gear more towards the teaching of the classroom, and I started to see the connections. This program is not just driving you to be a better teacher, it's driving you to be a driving force inside and outside your classroom. I got all this and I'm not even in Chicago yet. Wow.
This is just like a group of the most intellectual and insightful, and I don't know, they can analyze and they can bring you to a conclusion that you never thought you were going to have. Like I can come into a room and have an opinion on something or know that I've got it right, and by the time I'm leaving I'm like, okay, someone totally made me see something very different.
I would describe it as a roller coaster, an emotional and mental roller coaster.
Our opinions were valued, and our opinions were the basis for the development. It wasn't someone standing at the front of the room talking at us, this is how you become a great teacher. It was us talking across the room about how we as individuals became great teachers and coming together collectively to improve our craft to an even higher level.
Charter, non-charter, there's small, big, there's middle, high. I mean, it's a cross-section. I'm glad to see so many math, science. And it's just so refreshing to hear the point of views from around the country about education. And it's also encouraging to hear that we're all wrestling with the same issues, that it's not just my district that is wrestling with this stuff, it is national.
Through the case method and all of the research and readings that we've done, that really made me feel that I at least have a start at being masterful.
The cases on teaming and the group practice with our small groups has made me realize that I need to start with a purpose. You know, especially I'm going to be leading several teams this year, so I need to start and make sure everyone has the same vision, the same purpose, not necessarily the same goal, but the same purpose in mind.
I love the fact that I'm not being talked at. I am being pumped with information for empowerment.
I think this has been the most powerful professional development as an individual.
Okay, so I could get up here and talk about the case studies or small group instruction, whole group instruction, classroom discourse, or coaching. But instead, what I'm going to say today is thank you to everyone that is sitting in the audience today. Because one of the requirements for being here at NAATE was that we all taught in high poverty schools. And being that I was one of the students that you guys are teaching, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for caring. Thank you for being passionate and dedicated to the profession, because without you guys, I wouldn't be standing here today. So I'm going to end on a quote. We cannot hold a torch to light another's path without brightening our own. And we have definitely done that here at the NAATE program over the course of the last 10 days.
What we discovered in our research for the NAATE program was that nowhere in the United States is there an elite academy exclusively focused on the needs of experienced high-performing teachers to, 1, improve their effectiveness in the classroom, 2, to increase their value to their schools and districts, and 3, to renew their commitment to their chosen calling as classroom teachers.